Early braking versus late braking versus ideal braking. Which is best for rental karting? I did this experiment across 3 sessions, so let's compare the fastest laps. So as we start the laps, we're going to use the pit exit line on the right hand side as a reference for our first braking point. On the early braking lap, notice how we brake right at the beginning of the line, whereas on the ideal braking lap, I found the limit was about a quarter of the way down the line. And on the late braking lap, I tried to delay my braking as much as possible and found the limit was about halfway down the pit exit line. Now on the early brake lap and the ideal brake lap, I'm gaining time here because I'm already back onto the accelerator pedal as I head towards the apex point. On the late brake lap, I ran very deep into the first corner, hence the gap towards the apex point is quite large. And that's going to compromise my run and momentum all the way through the first hairpin and now the second hairpin, which is taken flat out. And this is going to be a great chance to see how my exit speed was affected on the different laps. In the middle, on the ideal brake lap, I got good exit speed and I'm able to reach the drainage cover first. The early brake lap is lagging slightly behind, but look on the far right hand side on the late brake lap, I've really compromised my exit speed and fallen about a kart's length behind already. We're going to negotiate a short straight over here in preparation for our second braking point, and this is going to be interesting. Watch in the middle on the ideal brake lap, I brake quite early this time round. It's a long left-hander that I'm negotiating now, and you can't take it flat out, otherwise I'll scrub the tyres. So my thinking is to tap the brakes, get the kart rotated, and get back onto the gas as soon as possible to keep the revs high. I'm going to brake at the same point on the early brake lap, as you can see on the left hand side where the drainage cover is, but watch on the right hand side. On the late brake lap, again, I've tried to delay my braking as much as possible, and we've gone quite deep into the corner, almost at the apex point already. But whilst we brake here, the other 2 laps, the early brake and ideal brake laps, are already onto the accelerator pedal and they're powering through the corner. Let's see how much difference there's going to be in exit speed. On the ideal brake lap in the middle, we've hit the drainage cover first, we're still maintaining that gap to the early brake lap, but the late brake lap has fallen behind again. We're now approaching the third and final braking point of this short lap for this right hand hairpin, which is relatively wide, and because it's quite wide and free flowing, I felt on the ideal brake lap I could brake much later and deeper into the corner, having a simple jab on the brakes and then back onto the gas, whereas on the left hand side on the early brake lap, I'm braking before the drainage cover and being quite conservative. Watch on the right hand side on the late brake lap as I brake pretty much at the same spot as I did on the ideal brake lap, which is well after the drainage cover and pretty much at the same time I turn into the corner. Let's see how that's going to affect our exit speed now. I'd say on the early brake lap, I'm losing time to the ideal brake lap and the late brake lap, because I was just too conservative in that corner. And as we reach this next drainage cover, the ideal brake lap is still ahead over the early brake lap, which is in second place, and the late brake lap has caught up slightly to the early brake lap because it obviously had better exit speed out that previous corner. Now the rest of the lap is all taken flat out and it's all about placement of the kart, which was identical on all 3 laps. So let's go to the finish line and see what the difference was in the lap times. I got 34.933 on the ideal braking lap. I got 35.278 on the early brake lap. And I got 35.496 on the late braking lap. The ideal braking lap proved that you can actually get faster with a combination of early braking and late braking, rather than a fixed way of doing it. The bottom line is, in rental karts, you need to keep the revs high when cornering. You need to drive the corner in such a way to maximize your exit speed. Every track is different, so you need to experiment what style of braking works best at your go-kart track. So let me know in the comments, do you prefer early braking or do you prefer late braking? But until the next video guys, I'll see you next time.